Okay, so I've been releasing a series on God Got Your Six, and it talks about the turning points and special points in a lot of the Bible events where usually in the chapter 6 or in any number related to 6 in the Bible we see that good things have happened for humanity and for people that are steadfast in their faith with God. And so I first noticed the significance of God Got Your Six in the 2 Maccabees 10 story, chapter 10, purification of the temple and the defeat of Timothy. You see the number 6 in that story where they defeat Timothy. It's around the time of what we now call here the holiday of Hanukkah, the miracle of the oil, and it's related to the Maccabean revolt. But we first see that number 6 in that story there. But then also we see in Daniel 6, we see into the lion's den, which is the story of Daniel being put into the lion's den because he would not, there was a decree by Darius that he had to stop praying for 30 days, and it was irrevocable, this decree, and it was signed so that the supervisors of Daniel were trying to set him up for a trap. So he was known to pray 3 times a day, so he refused to stop praying to God, and he was put into the lion's den overnight. Darius expected him to die, but an angel had come to the lion's den and had closed the mouths of the lions and saved Daniel. So also in Esther 6, we see Mordecai is rewarded by the king, so this is the turning point in that story in which Mordecai, who Haman was planning to have executed, ends up being rewarded for his service to the king and celebrated with a parade. So also we notice the number 6 in the book of Genesis. So in the 6th day of creation, humanity was created, and so this is why the God Got Your Six series is about, on the 6th day, God created humanity, and so he fully supports and covers and protects his own creation that's created in his likeness, his children, children of the Most High. So now I wanted to discuss another part of the book that has to do with the number 6, and that's Deuteronomy 6 and 4. But just to recap again on the Got Your Six, where that phrase comes from. So it used to be an old phrase from World War I fighter pilots. 6 o'clock position was behind one of the pilots, so you had 2 people that were flying in the sky, and one was behind the other, covering and protecting them from conflict and daily struggles, kind of as their wingman. So a lot of times we see references to God as a wingman. In Psalm 91, it said, he will cover you in feathers, and under his wings shall you take refuge, right? But we also see, like in Psalm 23, those that dwell in the shelter of the Lord, he, in the song, the Catholic song, on eagle's wings, he will bear you up on eagle's wings, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand, right? So there's a lot of references to God almost as if he's an eagle or a wingman or someone that's just covering and protecting you, looking out, seeing your blind spots, warning you from danger, seeing the whole sky ahead of you, and protecting you, going ahead of you, going behind you as well, and just covering you and protecting you with his love. So Psalm 91 was used a lot during COVID. It was considered to be a protection psalm as well. So yeah, that's where we get that significance of Psalm 91 lately. Anyways, but I wanted to discuss the next one in the series, and that one today is going to be what God kind of expects from us in return. So we did cover Matthew 6:14 through 15, which is just 2 little sentences regarding forgiveness. So as long as we forgive others, God will also forgive us and cover and protect us, and that's what that message there is about. But we're going to look at Deuteronomy 6:4, which is about what God asks in return for his coverage and his protection of us is to love God and trust God. So let's go ahead and look at that. So I got this on Philippians. I'll go ahead and flip it over. So Deuteronomy. So it's considered the Great Commandment, right? So chapter 6:4 of Deuteronomy. We have, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. Therefore you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength. Take to heart these words which I enjoin on you today. Drill them into your children. Speak of them at home and abroad, whether you are busy or at rest. Bind them at your wrist as a sign, and let them be as a pendant on your forehead. And the last phrase, write them on the doorposts of your houses and on your gates. So this is one of the things that God asks in return for coverage and protection of his people. He just asks for love, love God, and also to love others. So we have a couple of phrases in the Bible about loving and supporting others. We'll just go to that real quick. And also to be joyful and peaceful. So we'll cover 1 Peter 4 through 8, and Philippians 2, 3 through 4, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8, and the joyful and peaceful section of that is Philippians 4, 4 through 9, so if you wanted to read along with that. So we'll go ahead and flip to that. So 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8, it's chapter 13, begins, you hear this a lot in weddings. This is about the love that we give to others in our community, our family and friends as well. So God just asks that we be patient. Love is patient, love is kind, it is not jealous, it is not pompous, it is not inflated, it is not rude, it does not seek its own interests, it is not quick-tempered, it does not brood over injury, it does not rejoice over wrongdoings, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never fails. If there are prophecies, they will be brought to nothing. If tongues, they will cease. If knowledge, it will be brought to nothing. So that is one of the first important ones that we see over and over again at weddings about loving and supporting others. And then we have Philippians 2, 3 through 4. So this is a chapter, a plea for unity and humility. So 3 through 4 is, do nothing out of selfishness or out of vainglory. Rather, humbly regard others as more important than yourselves, each looking out not for his own interests, but also everyone for those of others. So these are just instructions for how to be loving and supporting to family, friends, and others. And then we also have, let's see. (1 Peter 4 through 8). Okay. So on Christian charity. Above all, let your love for one another be intense, because love covers a multitude of sins. Be hospitable to one another without complaining, as each one has received a gift. Use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Whoever preaches, let it be with the words of God. Whoever serves, let it be with the strength that God supplies, so that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom belong glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So God asks for a couple of things. He just asks that you love God, love others as well, and then be joyful and peaceful. So the last message then for today is Philippians 4, 4 through 9. This is one of my favorites. It has a lot to do with Christmas. So how to be joyful and peaceful with Christmas coming up. So rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say it again, rejoice. Your kindness shall be known to all. The Lord is near. Have no anxiety at all, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. Then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ. And this is my favorite part right here. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Keep on doing what you have learned and received and heard and seen in me. Then the God of peace will be with you. So that concludes this portion of, the God Has Got Your Six series. He just asks for a few things in return. Just asks that we love him and we love each other, our family, our friends, our community, our neighbors, and then also to try to be joyful and peaceful, and just to remember this passage, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, think of these things. So We'll go ahead and continue on in the chapter, probably in the series tomorrow as well, and we'll pick up from there. Thank you.